No, I've never seen them turn on a superstar before. They've definitely, I would say 60% have turned on LeBron.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
I got friends, that I played ball with forever and love the game, right? And love the Lakers, and they don't even watch games anymore because they just can't deal with LeBron. It's just that the culture has changed so much from Kobe to LeBron, different across the board. When they're winning, it's okay. You can let it go, right? But when you're not, and then there's questions about effort, it's like, dude, you're not safe in LA at all. They're gonna rip you apart. And there's diehards that still, root for LeBron, and justifiably so. It's just, I think this fan base is so used to winning when they have superstars, right? If they have superstars and they're not winning, that's a problem, right? Because what do you point to? Like it's on them, and it's just gotten pretty dark.
Hi everyone, Tim Kitzer with you, the voice of NBA Jam. From top journalists and authors to rising influencers and insiders, Hoopsology brings you the voices driving basketball forward. With elite guests and sharp analysis, Matt, Justin, and Alan keep you plugged into everything hoops. From downtown, boom shakalaka.
What I'm struggling with this team is this kind of the national narrative of a lot of negativity surrounding the Lakers, but yet when I watch them and when I see them in the standings, it's like they're a contending team to win the championship. I realize OKC's OKC, but this is a team that could still be a threat, come playoff time. So overall, kind of a general question. What is kind of your kind of state of the union of this team, so to speak, right before the All-Star break?
Well, I think with the Lakers, you kind of get that extra attention regardless. I mean, they could be absolutely terrible on the, in the running for, a lottery pick and still be getting the same kind of buzz. It's just it's just what comes with it, But I think the main thing is for people that do watch them night in, night out, and then you can watch the other great teams in the league, they're just not on the same level. The defense is just glaringly bad, right? And you got, Luka slacking off defensively. You got LeBron slacking off defensively. There's nobody there's Marcus Smart that's diving on the floor and all that stuff, but he's only one guy. And then there's Vando's pretty good too, but there's just not enough, right? There's not enough effort, and you can't teach effort, right? And you can't force them to do it either. So it's like it's a choice, and I've said this a lot lately, but I think JJ Redick's going to have a full head of gray hair by the time the season's over because he's just frustrated. You could see it. You could see it every post-game press conference. He's just fuming because he can't get these guys to play with consistent effort. And, like you said, the record's not awful. And I'm sure they'll beat the Nets tonight. I don't doubt that unless something crazy happens. They just got Reeves back, so that's another good, push in the right direction. And who knows, maybe in the next few hours, maybe in the next day, ahead of the trade deadline, they make a move and changes everything, right? All of a sudden they get a Herb Jones or Trey Murphy or, the 3-and-D wing they've been looking for. But even if they do get one of those guys, it's not going to be like a home run. All of a sudden, they're going to be better. I do still think it's a move for the future. It's not right now. I think the only move that you could make right now, and I don't even think it's possible, is if they got Giannis. All of a sudden, the conversation changes a little bit. But even he's coming off an injury, or he's still on, with the calf strains. There's no guarantee he's going to come in and just be like Giannis. So I think this season's kind of screwed, for lack of a better word. I think they're headed towards a kind of mediocre finish and maybe like something similar to last year where they get bounced in the first round or second round tops. And then it's all, a full steam ahead for the summer and then just trying to get, to really address the roster. So you got a ton of contracts coming off. They're going to have the money and the flexibility to do things. And I don't think LeBron's coming back. I think that's like one of the worst kept secrets in the NBA right now is just he wants out. He's kind of done. Both sides are kind of pissed off at each other and they just want it to just get through the season kind of thing, And I don't think he'll get traded by Thursday, but I mean, the way things happen in the NBA and how fast they happen, you just never know. What if the Warriors come calling and they're like, hey, we'll do this. And LeBron's like, fine, I'll waive my trade clause. Because Draymond said something interesting the other day where I'd like to play with LeBron. And it's like, okay, well, we know that, Draymond. We know you love LeBron to death, but the possibility of that happening just hasn't been a reality yet. But they're desperate, right? They want to move off of Kuminga. I mean, maybe they do that, so they figure out some kind of way to make it happen. But yeah, I feel like the team is thinking beyond this season. They're not thinking right now, and it's just kind of just go through the motions until it's over.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about LeBron, but I was going to phrase it as, like there's a player on the Lakers who everybody's wondering if he's going to be there next year. And, what do you think of Jackson Hayes? But, it's really LeBron that do you think? So here's the thing about LeBron, right? We've kind of heard the rumblings. Then that article breaks out detailing kind of the Buss family breakup, and which
Drama, yeah.
there's some pretty strong feelings and words from the Jeannie Buss camp regarding LeBron, how he has control of the team and that sort of thing. And everybody's kind of brushed over this, and I guess let it lie a little bit. But what's your take on that? Is that real damaging stuff, or is that just kind of normal back office shenanigans?
Well, this team has been surrounded by drama ever since the Dr. Jerry Buss died. And was it 2013? I want to say, and it's just been kind of nonstop. Nobody knows what's really going on behind the scenes, but all this stuff is like leaks out. Like first it was Jim Buss and Jeannie going head to head, and we saw how that panned out. And now it's like Jeannie against the world in terms of the Lakers world, I guess, with the rest of her siblings. And it just seems super complicated. And I think LeBron coming didn't complicated it just that much more, because he's the first guy to come to town. I mean, there was Kobe, but he was organic, right? Like, he was drafted by the team. Well, he was traded, but, on draft day, but he was a Laker through and through. And then this guy comes in who's super established and has his own agency, right? That's like pulling the strings behind behind the scenes. And that complicates things for a team that's kind of very prideful, right? Like they don't like stuff like that. They don't like people taking over. And LeBron kind of did that, I mean, clutch client here, clutch client there, Anthony Davis, and then Rich Paul in the back. And now Rich Paul's got a podcast and he's talking like crazy. It's like, it just doesn't stop in LA. And it's only gotten to another level now that social media is a big thing, and podcasts are a big thing. I just came to a boiling point. And I think, they made the right move in selling to Mark Walter. I mean, it was time. I mean, even diehard fans that had loved the Buss family were saying the same thing. Hey, it's time. There's the door. Let's get this Mark Walter guy in who knows how to win and is not cheap whatsoever. The guy spends a ton of money to make the Dodgers what the Dodgers are. As you see here, like two-time champs. But back to back anyway. It's just there's so many, like, if you just pay attention, you just see like it's a changing of the guard, right? It's like this is all happening at the same time. It's like maybe even, I mean, you don't hear anything about what Walter thinks about anything right now, right? But maybe he comes in and he's like, LeBron's a problem. We need to push off of this problem because it's been the same season over and over and over since 2020, right? And it pretty much has. They haven't been lucky with injuries. I mean, every year there's somebody that goes down for a significant amount of time. Even this one with Reeves, it's like 19 games, and he's only just come back. I think they've only played 8 games together, those three, which is crazy when you think about it. But I don't know. I'm getting long-winded here, but it's time for a shakeup, I think, and I think everybody knows it, and it's just a matter of time.
With LeBron, I am at a loss because I've been a huge fan of his career. But yet, with this team, I just find it like they're very competitive. And LeBron, he's a 4th-dimensional player. I mean, he has a very expensive.
Sorry, James Harden just got traded to the Cavs.
Wow, that's some breaking news. If you want to react,
it just happened.
Please do. What are your thoughts?
Talk about a mercenary, James Harden. Can you even associate that guy with one team now? I mean, for a while there was it was the Rockets, and has he asked out every? Well, I don't think he asked out for OKC. They just decided to trade him, right? Because they didn't want to pay him.
Yeah, there was a conflict because he wanted the full extension, and they were not going to give it to him. I don't know if he officially asked out, but I think the writing was on the wall that he was going to leave.
So it was basically his decision to want the money right? And then they're okay. Well, this is our decision. See you later, buddy. Right? Which I mean, okay, see, I mean, with genius running that show, but God, that guy, I just. If I'm Donovan Mitchell, I'm like, I don't know if I want to be here anymore. Like, I got to think about my options. Yeah.
Wow.
It's Garland. Yeah. Straight up, I guess. Well, I mean, that's just can't be straight up. A second round pick, too. So he has more value than Garland? I don't see that.
Yeah, I don't think the Cavs have been really high on Garland lately.
No. Well, I think he keeps getting hurt, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's always on the mend. I think he's hurt right now. Don't quote me on that, but last game I saw, he was in street clothes when they played the Lakers just recently.
Wow.
Whoa, that's crazy. That happened really fast, too, right?
Yeah.
Like it was like all of a sudden he wanted out, and then boom.
Gone.
Yeah, the NBA is wild.
Yeah, it is. It's not over yet.
No,
Started.
we still got what do we got, a day and a half after tomorrow?
Wow. Circling back to LeBron, I guess my point is with him, like, how much is it to blame in terms of what's going on in Los Angeles? Is it the organization with the Lakers and LeBron not being a big fit, or do we have to take a look at this LeBron here in terms of what role he plays? Because you mentioned the defensive end, and I just think him being a veteran, him being a champion, they would get it together and show effort. But yeah, you're mentioning they lack that on a in of the floor that takes effort and that takes hustle and grind. It doesn't necessarily take of course talent's involved, but also it takes effort to be great on defense. So I'm just curious, just your reaction to with LeBron in terms of this whole situation. Do you mostly hold him responsible for what's going on, do you think?
Not solely. I think it's when you're a leader like that, you take on that responsibility to, motivate your teammates. And it's like you look at, I covered Kobe for the last 6 years of his career, right? So I saw that in the locker room, all that stuff. It's just different, right? It's like LeBron's a more happy-go-lucky guy, like wants to be liked by everybody, whereas Kobe was the absolute killer and, made people accountable. I don't think LeBron makes people accountable. I think LeBron does what LeBron does, and everybody else does whatever they want to do, kind of thing. And sometimes that works just off of strictly talent, right? But it gets to a point where that's not enough anymore, and the rest of the league catches up, and they've caught up for a while. And I don't know. It's like you look at some of these replays of like very fundamental mistakes defensively by LeBron, right? Just like losing his man, not knowing where he is. Like there was one where I was like, what the hell is he doing? He was trying to box out Steven Adams, I think it was. And then he fronts him for some reason once the ball is up and it is about to be a rebound, right? He like goes back around him. I'm like, dude, you had him sealed off. Like that rebound's yours, right? And he goes back around. I was like, it was weird. It was really weird. And then there's times where guys just fly by him or he's just not helping. And it's like, he feels checked out to me. He honestly feels checked out. I don't know whether it's just because of in LA and Lakers, or if he's at that point in his career where he just doesn't have that kind of desire to want to play like that anymore. I don't know what it is, but there's something off. I mean, obviously, you keep seeing these. I just finished an article talking about it. There's something wrong, and I think that's why they're both like, all right, this is over, right? Because if your leaders aren't putting in the effort, why would you? Like why would the role player guys? Why would the borderline stars or whatever? It's just contagious. Right? That's why compared to Kobe, because when he was doing that, you'd see other guys, like no-name guys, just diving on the floor and doing all sorts of crazy stuff just because they see what Kobe's doing, And I'm not saying Kobe was perfect. He had his flaws for sure. But I mean, you just watch LeBron now, and it's a different feel about it, different aura about it. I don't know. Maybe it is just new surroundings. Maybe it is he's just kind of over it. It's been 23 seasons, like kind of done. He's talking about golf more than he is basketball now. It's just some of the comments you kind of just read between the lines. But I don't think it's all his fault by any means, because Luka needs to be held accountable too. He's done some of the same kind of stuff, like complaining about a missed foul call, and the rest of the team is running back on defense. It's like, what are you doing, dude? Like, who cares? You're not going to change the call. I don't understand that at all with today's players. Why bitch and moan about calls when they're not going to change it? Well, what are you doing? And then people would say, oh, well, it's for the next one. Well, they do the same thing on the next one, right? It's like you're just complaining. Just go play. Like, I don't understand that. It frustrates the hell out of me. Because back in the day, it wasn't like that. I mean, you'd see it occasionally. I even used to get mad when Kobe would do it. But it just happens too much now. I mean, and it's even the Knicks the other night. Carl Towns is like complaining and what was it Brunson? And I'm like, dude, it is just everywhere. Everybody's doing the same thing. Just play basketball, man.
Yeah,
get the ball back.
Right? Yeah, go get it back. You talked about accountability. That was really interesting because, JJ Redick has to hold these guys accountable, but how hard is that when your 2-star players kind of don't follow those same rules?
Exactly.
I mean, we saw it with Luka and Rick Carlisle, right? I mean, Rick Carlisle was pushed out of Dallas because, the kind of the relationship with Luka. What's JJ Redick's kind of longevity looking like here for this team? Is he going to be the coach for the future, or is he, going to be out of here pretty soon after LeBron departs?
That's so hard to answer because even guys that you think, they've earned their stripes, right? Like Vogel, right? He wins a title and then he gets fired not that long after, it's like, and the way they did it too, like, everybody in the press conference room knew he was fired before Vogel came in for the post-game press conference. I'm like, oh my God, dude. It's just, I was on a pod earlier this morning and I said, like, why would anybody want to be a coach in professional sports? You are the fall guy first, always, because you're the easiest one to fire, right? And it's a thankless job in a sense, right? Because if you win, it's all about Luka dropping 40, right? If you lose, it's all about what did you do, or why didn't you do this, or why didn't you do that, and then the players get blamed after that. It's just I like JJ because I think he's kind of like an old school kind of coach, right? He's clearly passionate, and you don't see that a lot in coaches. They kind of go through the motions a lot, say safe things, and JJ's just. I feel like JJ's kind of like a time bomb at every press conference after a loss. He wants to absolutely explode. And he holds it back, and sometimes he doesn't, though. It's like when something happens, like something stupid, like a player did something stupid on the floor or clearly missed an assignment or something. Me and my colleagues are like, what is JJ going to say after the game? Like, that's our first thought. Like, what is JJ going to say? I think they like him. I think they like the grit that he comes with. And I think maybe once LeBron is gone, he'll have a bit more control because I think Luka really likes him. I think Luka really respects him. I don't really know a lot about the relationship between him and LeBron, though, because he talks about him and then he talks about him, but you never really truly see them together very often anymore. It's always Luka and LeBron. Like LeBron doesn't even do post-game press conferences at the podium anymore. I mean, it's been like 2 years now. He just lets other players do it. So that's another like kind of checked out thing. So that's an accountability thing too, because you're at the podium, you're going to have to answer questions about if you had a great game or if you had a bad one, And now it's just Luka and then either Reeves or Rui or, one of the kind of the second tier guys, right? And LeBron just sits in the locker room and does what he does. It's just, I don't know. It's just a weird dynamic now. It's so odd. But changes are coming. I'm guaranteeing it at this point. I mean, maybe not on Thursday, but this summer's going to be interesting for sure.
Based on LeBron's behavior, do you think this will rub off on Luka in terms he's going to be the leader of this team? He'll be the franchise player moving forward. Do you think this will rub off on him in a negative fashion, just seeing how LeBron has acted towards the twilight of his career? Because LeBron's a generational talent, and phically, I mean, he could still get it done, but you're mentioning all these are mental things that you're mentioning with LeBron. Mm-hmm. He's not physical, limitations that he's going through despite his age. So, Luka, I think, you would assume that LeBron would be a good mentor for Luka Doncic, but just based on what we've seen so far, I think it's been the opposite.
Yeah, it has been the opposite. I thought, what LeBron could have done for him the best is teach him how to take care of his body, right? Teach him how to have that longevity that he's had. I mean, that's the one thing Luka's really missing is physical fitness sustained and, intensity on defense, which, I mean, LeBron's not going to teach him anything about that. But that's why I think, I think it's a pipe dream, but if they could get Giannis would be the perfect guy next to Luka because Giannis plays his ass off on defense, right? And he'll make him accountable. I think those two would call each other out, especially Giannis to Luka, right? But that's if that happens, I'd be blown away because I think he'll get traded by Thursday. But I don't know. The question is, well, how does Luka act when LeBron's gone? And who are they going to get to play alongside? I mean, Reeves seems like foregone conclusion. He's in there for a long time, and those two play great next to each other. I think they actually play better together than Luka and LeBron. I think Reeves knows when to back off, and Luka knows when to back off. But when Luka and LeBron are on it, it's like they don't know when to hand it to each other. Occasionally, you see brilliance. Even before I came on during the Nets game, I saw a couple plays, but it's not consistent. It's very inconsistent, right? But when Luka and Reeves are on the floor, it's like they just know how to play off each other. But who's that third guy? They got to have a third guy, So who knows? I mean, things are going to change after the deadline because all these narratives are going to shift, and this team needs this person now. This team needs this guy. Whatever, and then in the summer it shifts again. It's just I think they're just going through the motions to get through this year. What do we got at 33 games or something after tonight? So, and that'll go fast as we all know.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like an interesting dichotomy between Luka and LeBron, and in some ways they're very similar, but in other ways they're very different. There's a legacy question for LeBron, but as you look for the future of the Lakers, who's outside of Giannis, what's that ideal team build around Luka look like moving forward?
I don't know. If you can't get a guy like Giannis, I think you're going to have to get multiple important role players, right? Like you have to get a Herb Jones, but you got to get another guy too, and then another guy. You got to get a bunch of shooters. You got to get the ideal fits around him. Which I'm sure will not be easy, but I mean that's the thing with the Lakers. It's I think it does get harder and harder for them to make trades because, like, I'm sure the rest of the league looked at the Luka trade and said, "What the hell happened there? Like, why weren't we called? Or how come there was only one first round draft pick involved in that?" I saw a graphic today where after Triple J got traded right to Utah, and it said something like 6 first round picks or something, 5 or 6 between Triple J and who was the other guy that got traded? Desmond Bane, right? And I was like, and then they go in the bottom and it's just Luka 1 first round pick. And it's like, what? It doesn't make any sense. It still doesn't make any sense, right? And then there's all those conspiracy theories like, oh, Dallas got the first round pick and now they got Cooper Kupp. And maybe that was kind of, that's what the NBA wanted, whatever, But yeah, this summer's I'm excited for it, but I'm also kind of scared for it because if they flop and they don't get what they need to get, it's going to be a talking point, until that happens. And then maybe, Mark Walter does some crazy things. Maybe he fires Pelinka and brings in, Bob Myers or something. Somebody that's just waiting for that right opportunity. Or like Ujiri, right? Like somebody who's a big name GM who has a successful record, right? I think Bob Myers, you can't really miss with him, but we'll see. I don't think they're going to accept it, though. Like the pressure is on. Pelinka knows it. The pressure is on now. He doesn't have the safety net of the Bus family anymore.
Okay, do you talk about the Laker fan base? Is this kind of common in terms of drama and things, things going on in the front office, on the court? Do you think the temperament's different with the fan base? What's going on here? Do you sense anything different in what's going on with the turmoil of this team, or do you think it's commonplace for Laker fans?
No, I've never seen them turn on a superstar before. They've definitely, I would say 60% have turned on LeBron.
Wow.
I mean,
wow.
I got friends, that I played ball with forever and love the game, right? And love the Lakers, and they don't even watch games anymore because they just can't deal with LeBron. It's just that the culture has changed so much from Kobe to LeBron. It's just different across the board. When they're winning, it's okay. You can let it go, right? But when you're not, and then there's questions about effort, it's like, dude, you're not safe in LA at all. They're gonna rip you apart. And there's diehards that still, root for LeBron, and justifiably so. It's just, I think this fan base is so used to winning when they have superstars, right? If they have superstars and they're not winning, that's a problem, right? Because what do you point to? Like it's on them, and it's just gotten pretty dark. I mean, before they got Luka, it was really dark. Like, it was bad. It was bad for people that covered the Lakers because it was so negative. It was like 80-20 at that point. Like, people were just ripping them apart, ripping LeBron, ripping Pelinka, ripping Jeannie Buss. It was just no positivity. And Luka kind of shed that light a little bit, and you're like, okay, we got something to build on for 10 years, right? Like, but before that, it was like, okay, what are we doing? What's the plan here? Because there was no, like, concrete plan after LeBron. It was like, okay, Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis just couldn't stay healthy. That's not a plan, right? Like, you got to get another guy. And they did the best that they possibly could. But you need more. You got to put more around him. You can't have this, golden boy and then just not do anything, right? And I'm not saying it's easy. All this apron crap has really made it difficult to move, guys around. It's just not the same kind of trade market. And the Lakers are traditionally, they just make trades. They don't really build organically, right? I mean, Kobe, Shaq, Shaq they signed, right? So they just don't do it. Like, once a guy has value that's a young guy, he's gone. They're trading him. They're trying to level up, right? That's why it's always talk about Austin Reeves. Like, oh, well, time to trade Reeves because he's got value. Like, I don't think that's going to happen now, but that was the case for a long time. Just find the next superstar, and that it's not as easy anymore. And I'm saying this a year after they trade for Luka, but still, it's what's next. What are you doing next?
Yeah, I never would have thought a LeBron James team would have fans pining for the days of Eldon Campbell and Cedric Sabalas. Those dark pre-Shaq years.
I loved those years. Those were fun.
Oh, they were great. Yeah.
Eddie Jones, Nick Van Exel. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nick Van Exel is great.
Yeah.
Love that guy. Yeah.
Sean Rooks, like all those guys. They were good. They were a good team, right? They all kind of fit together. And they were just on that cusp of becoming unstoppable, right? And then traded off Nick Van Exel, traded off Eddie Jones, Glenn Rice, right? But obviously it worked because he went off to win 3 titles. But I still always think, like, what would it have been if they would have kept those guys? But you can't keep both of them with Kobe at the point, and Derek Fisher too, like, kind of being exactly what you needed at the point guard position. So yeah, it's a bummer. That was hard to swallow. When they did all that stuff, but then you get over it quick when they start winning championships.
Ryan, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining us. Can you let our audience know where you're located on social media, any upcoming projects, and where they can catch your work as well covering the Lakers?
Yeah, I'm at Ryan Ward LA, and you can catch me on all of the YouTube, Twitter, X, which I'll never get comfortable saying X for some reason, Instagram, TikTok, Threads. Like any social media platform, if you type in my name, I'll probably pop up. But I did an interview with Drew Time the other day. I did one with Jake LaRavia the other day. I published yesterday. But the Drew Time one's kind of funny. So there's a video of it. I think I'm going to post it tomorrow, either tomorrow or there's probably tomorrow, because it's going to be all trade stuff after that, right? So look out for that.
Awesome. Ryan, thank you very much for joining us. Good luck with the Lakers and with this crazy trade deadline. It looks like it's heating up.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.